Do what I'm going to tell you here in this video. If she, that woman, isn't responding properly to your messages. I received the following story that I'm going to read here. A few months ago, I met a woman through Facebook who lives in another city near mine. We quickly exchanged WhatsApp numbers and started chatting, sharing ideas about each other's lives. I became interested when I found out we had many common interests, especially in movies and music. During this time, she shared details about her work, lifestyle, and preferences, and I did the same. At some point, the suggestion came up to meet in person, and she agreed. The biggest challenge was the financial aspect of attending indoor places like bars. Nevertheless, we set a date and location, but there was always an unexpected issue on her end, resulting in postponements. Despite this, she always expressed the desire to meet, apologizing when plans didn't materialize. Finally, after 4 months of virtual conversations, we managed to meet in person. It was an amazing afternoon that allowed us to get to know each other better. She even suggested a next meeting at a beach, as her family frequented the area. On the first date, she took me to a place she knew, a secluded spot with a very nice restaurant. However, the problem that follows is that sometimes she takes a long time to respond or doesn't respond to some messages. For example, on one day, she views the message and doesn't reply, while on another day, she responds normally. This is a constant thing, and she herself has told me that she's like that I could call her out when she doesn't respond because she wants to know my opinion. She's not that attentive, and her irregular behavior is an indication of disinterest, or she might be busy with various things. What do you think? Let's talk about this situation that often occurs. It's very common to encounter a situation where a woman doesn't respond adequately to your messages, showing this inconsistency. You can't have clarity about what's happening on the other side, and you can come up with various hypotheses. However, whatever hypothesis you raise doesn't matter because this is related to her, and you don't have control over her. What you have control over is yourself. Now, let's raise some hypotheses about what might be happening in this case. First, she might be absent on WhatsApp, that is, WhatsApp may not be a platform she pays much attention to. There are people who aren't very attentive to this form of communication. Second hypothesis, she might not be emotionally attached to you. Normally, when a woman is strongly attached to a man, she tends to respond more quickly because she doesn't want to lose him. Third hypothesis, she might be consciously playing. Some women consciously adopt certain behaviors to keep a man's interest. She might be thinking of responding occasionally to keep you thinking about her, showing that she's interested but in a controlled way. Fourth hypothesis, she might genuinely be busy. Life can get hectic, and sometimes people are genuinely occupied with various responsibilities. These are just some possible explanations for her behavior. However, it's important to note that, regardless of the reason, what you can control is your own reaction to this situation. How would you like to approach this issue? Now that we've discussed possible reasons for her behavior, it's important to emphasize that, in the end, what matters most is you and your actions. In situations like this, what really matters is how you choose to handle the situation. If you're trying to assess the real level of interest from this woman, observe her actions. True interest manifests through actions. If she shows an attitude of wanting to maintain contact, is friendly in conversations, and initiates new interactions, these are positive signs of interest. On the other hand, if you notice that most of the effort to maintain the conversation comes from you, and she's not actively contributing or seems disinterested, it may be an indication that her interest is not that strong. Remember, in relationships, reciprocity is crucial. If your attempts at interaction don't receive an enthusiastic response, it may be a sign to reconsider the level of investment in this specific interaction. Stay alert to her attitudes and adjust your own actions as necessary. The important thing is to focus on yourself and your emotional well-being. It's crucial to assess the level of investment this woman is willing to make in the interaction. A smart and respectful man recognizes when his investment is high, but the return is not equivalent. If you're constantly suggesting meetings, starting conversations, and she's not opening new dialogues, it's a sign that she may not be willing to invest in the interaction. A man who respects himself and values his own emotions will notice these signs and may decide to adjust his own level of investment. If she's not opening conversations or showing initiative to maintain the interaction, it's an indication that maybe she doesn't have the same level of interest. Remember that healthy relationships involve reciprocity and mutual effort. If she's genuinely interested, at some point, she'll also initiate conversations and show her investment. Trust your perceptions and make decisions that align with your own emotional well-being. If you feel you're investing more than you're receiving, it may be helpful to reassess the dynamics of the interaction. To evaluate her interest, invite her to another meeting. There's no need to elaborate much or provide too much context. Considering you've already been out once, even if you haven't mentioned what happened during the meeting, suggest something like, "Hey, was thinking about such and such a place. How about we plan again?" If she accepts and agrees, it's a positive sign of her investment. This is because accepting involves action. She'll have to get ready and prepare to meet you. This is an indication that she's interested. Remember, the invitation is not just to plan, it's to effectively materialize the meeting. After giving this space and she initiates the conversation, observe the investment pattern. If she disappears again and returns after a few days, keep your investment at a lower level. However, if she resumes communication and is more engaged, consider making the invitation. If she accepts, observe if she'll actually show up, as it's important not to accept just breadcrumbs of attention. You deserve someone who responds well, has pleasant conversations, and wants to be with you. If these tips were helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share the video. A hug and until next time.